Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek Voyager, Season 7, Episode 14, Prophecy. So I feel like this could have been a really good episode, and I really wanted to like it. But this one kind of falls in that in-between area where it was super vague and they didn't go into a lot of specifics, which kind of annoyed me. But if they had, I feel like they could have drawn it out to a two-parter with some sort of under subplot and gone into some more specifics about the whole Klingon crew and everything like that. And I feel like it would have actually done the storyline a little bit more justice, which is that's something I've said a lot in Voyager, where it's you got a huge idea, but you crammed it down into 45 minutes, and you didn't really do it justice. So for this episode, the main plot is the crew, Voyager, comes across a Klingon bird of prey from the Alpha Quadrant. And right away, so we haven't really had a lot of Klingon episodes. There was, I think it was in the first season with was it the Vidians that split B'Elanna into a human and a Klingon? We had that one, and then we had the Barge of the Dead, which was just awful. I did not like that one. And then this one. This is actually a really interesting Klingon episode because it kind of deals with a lot of the stuff that we kind of already know about with Klingon culture and stuff like that. The problems I start getting are where, so I understand that this crew have been on this mission for years, almost, at least 100 years. They say 4 generations. So it's been at least 100 years. So I understand, their ship is going to be slower than Voyager. I understand, I get that. But, Voyager's only 30,000 light years, I think, away from the Alpha Quadrant at this point. We started out at 70, and we're down to 30. So, I mean, realistically, even if they were going, maximum warp or whatever, I don't know, 50 years in, they should have already been to this point. So already, the distance and the math doesn't quite add up for me. They bring up a lot of stuff like the Khitomer Accord and how the Klingon Starfleet Treaty was signed more than 80 years ago, which is a reference to the movies, stuff like that. And then basically it comes across, or the whole plot boils down to these Klingons took the bird of prey to find their savior, which they never actually say Kahless, it's just a savior, and they're going down all of these prophecies, and they find out that B'Elanna is pregnant and kind of fits these prophecies, which for religion, you can make a lot of prophecies fit if you really try to. And they even do this in the episode where they're well, technically, and they kind of force it in. Whereas, two warring houses make peace. Okay, so we got the Federation, we got the Klingon Empire. I got it. God, there's so many, I don't even know what else. But it ends up being B'Elanna's baby is this sacred thing. And they actually go so far to the point of destroying their own ship, so Voyager has to welcome them on board. And they say there's 200 of them, so they actually outnumber the members of Voyager. So it's kind of interesting. I do love the scene where the doctor, a Klingon female, is interested in Harry, and the doctor actually gives him permission to have sex, and he's like, don't forget to ask the captain's permission, which is a clear shout out to the episode The Disease, where Harry had sex without asking for permission, and it of course got some sort of weird STD from an alien. So I loved how they kind of brought that back around. Tom has a fight to the death, which is kind of a fun scene. And then this is kind of where the big twist comes, where the Klingons actually all have a disease that's slowly killing them, and that every single one of them has it, and just being in contact with B'Elanna, she has it and the baby has it. And so, of course, the doctor comes up with a cure because the baby's only 1/4 Klingon, and inoculates them, and everybody lives happily ever after. And then they just kind of drop the Klingons off on an M-class planet. They're like, okay, you guys go live here now. And it's very reminiscent of Space Seed and the whole Khan thing. And they're just like, you know what? You tried to take over my ship. I'm just going to leave you on this planet. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. And they leave. Neelix being with the Klingon woman after Harry was kind of a fun scene, but like you think back on how creepy his relationship was with Kess, and then you look at him with the Klingon and you're like, okay, that's definitely your type. You should have gone that route this whole time. But like overall, I don't know. I feel like a two-parter, if this was a two-parter, I feel like it could have been much better. Like you could have even rewrote this to be like a Voyager movie, but because it is an interesting premise, like coming across this Alpha Quadrant ship that's been going for years. It's a really interesting idea. I really like it, but I feel like it just didn't get the justice it deserved. So for those who have seen this one, what did you guys think about seeing Klingons in Voyager? Because it's not something we see very often. What did you think about B'Elanna's baby being like this messiah? Go ahead, let me know. Thank you guys for everything, and I will see you guys next time for The Void.